Hello and welcome back to the channel. Well, there's yet another event happening here in the world that leaves us concerned. So many things are constantly happening that you can't wrap your mind around all of it. Right now, down in Miami, there was a condo collapse, and so far one person has been reported as dead. Some are missing, and they are expecting the death toll to rise. Now, what's sad about this is a high rise that is off the water. And what comes to mind for me is when the scripture says that you should never build a foundation upon sand or build a house upon sand. Now, of course, you have engineering teams that go in and they do this and they do that to secure buildings properly. Or should I say what they think is properly. Many of these buildings have been standing for decades. And again, it goes back to me. For me, it goes back to building a house upon the sand. Now, this building is 12 stories high, 12 floors. And the price tag for each unit is way up there. And so I'm looking at a lot of the comments underneath the article where they're talking about building inspections, and people are saying that the building hasn't been checked, and others are saying, how do you know it hasn't been checked, and all of this. So I'm guessing that the buildings do have to be checked, but what are they checking for? It just seems really odd to me that people that are inside of a building that is off the water, that no one noticed anything. Did anyone notice any creaking in the floor, any type of shifting in anything for such a collapse to happen? It just sounds strange to me. It's almost seems like it had to be some type of something to let people know that something was going on with this building. But again, a house built upon the sand. Okay, so I saw information also in the comment section about engineers designing buildings and things of that nature. Well, sometimes they don't get it right. Sometimes things are not done properly, because for this to happen, now, if this were a building that was unoccupied and they were trying to do something or whatever, I could see maybe it was unoccupied because they were suspecting that something was wrong with the building. But if this is a building that people were living in, it is just very concerning that something like this would happen. Now, I remember years ago, I saw where buildings had collapsed in China. And, a lot of people chalked it up to how quickly they throw these buildings up. They are literally putting them up in, it seems like overnight, right? But here in the U.S., you would think that something like this wouldn't happen. So someone dropped the ball, perhaps, because how can a building just collapse like this, especially in the wee hours of the night when no one is expecting anything? Also, when people are sleeping, so there's no time to say, okay, well, something is strange happening in this building. I think I'm about to bust up out of here real quick because I don't like the way this sounds. I don't like the way this feels. But this is very strange for something like this to happen in the U.S. So this is beyond failing infrastructure, because there was also another video release of a bridge that had collapsed onto the road. Something else is going on here. Could this be a symptom of something bigger? Only a portion of the building collapsed. It says the entire backside of the building collapsed. And so that's very concerning. Some of the commenters made some sense when they were saying when you're living off the water, especially off of the ocean, the corrosion can be crazy. You're living off of the ocean, right by the ocean. there's going to be corrosion. So how do they check these things? And I'm pretty sure anyone who's living near that area in any of those other buildings, I'm pretty sure that these people are going to be taking a vacation very soon, because they don't want to be in harm's way if this happens again. But again, these types of situations, they always kind of catch you off guard. They are expecting to find more people under the rubble. This is a very high value area. The condos are worth anywhere from $600,000 to $700,000. So this is not a poor neighborhood. This is a neighborhood where people have deep pockets. This is a condominium where people have deep pockets. And so you know that all kinds of investigations are going to take place, all kinds of analysis and inspections. They're coming, because for something like this to happen in a very rich neighborhood, you know that they're going to be on their P's and Q's and finding out what happened. Of course, this is after the fact, after the tragedy. The tragedy is that people were living in buildings that cost that much, and it wasn't even safe. Wasn't even safe. How could you sell property to people for that much money and not even sure if the infrastructure is safe? So that is what's happening in the United States today. Like I said, not just that, but there was a bridge that collapsed as well, right onto the road. So, are these signs of something bigger that's coming? Could there have been some seismic activity that people really didn't feel, but it was there? Now, of course, that's me speculating at this point, but you still have to wonder. You still have to wonder what is going on with these collapses. A bridge collapses and a portion of a building collapses. Very, very concerning. But we are living in the time where things are going to happen, and you just got to keep your eyes open, and you're just waiting and wondering what the next big event is going to be. Now, we're used to seeing these things happening in other countries, but guess what? Guess what? We're going to start to see it more and more, where it's not just happening in other countries, but here as well. So I am done with this video. Those of you who live down in Miami, down in Florida, I've heard stories of other things such as the sinkholes. I remember one sister said that there was a sinkhole that just formed right in the middle of a road that they travel frequently. And I said, wow. So you got to be careful in this world. You got to keep your eyes open. And you have to really, really know what's going on in your neighborhood. Of course, there are things that we can't possibly escape. You know, the scripture talks about a big earthquake that's going to shake the whole earth. Where are you going to go when that happens? Where are you going to go when that happens? But I'm sure in every area there is something to be concerned about. In every area that every last one of us live in, there's something to be concerned about. A lot of people live in Tornado Alley, which is a strip of area or land where tornadoes are known to touch down. So it's like you can go from one place to the other and you're going to run into something or some possibility of something happening. Anyway, that is my reporting today on this story. In the comment section below, share your thoughts. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, share and like this video. And with that, I'm out. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.